What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Austin Pratt with Proper Pressure Washing here. Today I'm going to be going over a new hose reel that I just picked up, and I'm going to get it installed on the trailer, kind of do some side-by-side comparisons with it and the Titan hose reels, and kind of see if there's any differences. Try it for a couple weeks while we're out in the field, see how I like it, and then we'll see, as far as the longevity goes, how it holds up to everything that we do with them. So I'm going to be putting it up here on top of this Titan 18-inch reel. They're all hand cranks that I have, but this is a Steel Eagle, and I absolutely cannot stand it. So I'll go over what I don't like about it, and yeah, so let me get this box open. I will show you guys what it comes with, and then we'll get it installed on the trailer and go from there. So stay tuned. Alright, so I already went ahead and cut the box to check some stuff in here while I was out at the Tractor Supply store, just to see if there's any different hardware I was going to need, or if anything didn't bolt together. So let's go ahead and get this open and examine it. I did pick this up from a local pressure washing store supplier here. They had them. They can't get any Titans in, so I really need one more of a similar Titan reel, because like I said, I can't stand the Steel Eagle. It's really stiff trying to pull it out, and that's the one we use on our house washes. So we're constantly pulling it out pretty much the full length, and it's a pain in the ass to try and pull it out, and then of course reel it back up at the end of the day. So let's get this box open and see what's inside. Alright, so first thing we notice is this is a package a lot better than the Titan reel that I picked up. The two that I have on the trailer to the left are the newest ones. I just got those last week. Those were just in a box. It had this little baggie with the handle and the swivel in it, and that was it. There wasn't any bubble wrap or anything like that to protect the sides of it, which isn't a big deal, but in shipping, it's just nice to see the extra steps that they take to ensure that these things don't get damaged. Another thing that I noticed when I was at the store earlier was this thing comes with a stacking kit. So I got to call and see if it was just mine that came with it, or all of these come with a stacking kit. Normally these are like a $100 upgrade or upcharge. So I'm hoping that all of them come with it, because that would be an awesome kind of reason to go with one of these reels instead of a Titan. So my Titan reels did not come with a stacking kit. I happen to have a leftover one to use, so that's what I went ahead and used, but normally they don't. So this one also comes with hardware in the bag. My other two Titans did not. Let's get the rest of the bubble wrap out of the way. Get the reel out of the box here. Alright. So we've got the reel out now. Another thing I noticed is this is the super swivel, I believe. This is apparently a higher quality swivel. I don't think you can lube the other ones that are more of the rectangular box shaped ones. So these are just a better quality swivel, which it already comes with. Now I picked this hose reel up for I think $400 plus tax, so it came out to like $433. So it's a little bit more expensive than the Titan hose reels that I believe are normally like $380 plus tax. So a couple things to take away from that, right? You've got this super swivel that comes with this, which is normally a $50 to $75 upgrade if you were to walk into the store and get one. And then also the stacking kit. Like I said, that's normally another $100 or so, give or take, on where you go. So that's kind of sweet to already have, this stuff that already comes with it, and it's not like it's a lot more expensive. So the distributor did tell me that these reels were more expensive than the Titans, that they were identical replicas, but the stacking kit and the swivel came with it. So let's move on to the reel itself. I'm noticing that there are a lot more bolt patterns or bolt holes along the bottom here than what the Titans have. The Titan just has 4, and I think they're kind of spread out more. So you have more options, it looks like, with this, to be able to mount it to wherever you need to mount it to. Everything else seems to be pretty standard. Of course, you have the name here, and then this is more of what I would consider like a brushed finish. It's not as reflective as the Titan finishes are. And then you have your normal locking pin here, which is pretty standard. As far as I'm looking back at my trailer that I have open to kind of compare it side by side, this feels a little bit more rigid than I believe the Titan does. I feel like the Titan's more rounded off. But I mean, yeah, you know, it looks pretty much like a Titan, just with a different name so far. So I'm going to go ahead and cut to this segment of the video about the Steel Eagle reels and kind of go over what I like and what I don't like about that one. All right, just before I get into this, I just want to make it clear, I'm not hating on any particular reel, except for Summit. I really wasn't a big fan of this, and I was planning that it was gonna, you know, hold up a little bit better because I had assumed that since this was polyurethane or plastic, you know, that wasn't gonna rust and all that kind of stuff. And I will say this, I did pick this hose reel up secondhand, but it was brand new, it had never been used. It had this soft wash hose on it. And the guy never used it, like it was literally brand new. So I will say, you know, I'll give this company the benefit of the doubt. Maybe this is a dud. You know, I haven't had a chance to reach out to them and, you know, pick their brain on it. But with all that being said, let's hop into it. It's going to be kind of hard to tell on video the resistance that it has, but these swivels here, this is their braking system. These are loose, you know, that you can wiggle these bolts back and forth, as you can see. It's loose all the ways it can go without it falling off. Same thing on this side, and it has this little plastic groove that the shaft from the hose reel sits in, so there's not a metal collar for it to easily slide. So anyways, like I said, it's got, you know, a decent amount of tension behind it. You know, it'll kind of go out a little bit without there being too much effort to try and pull it all the way out, but it's really stiff. And like I said, when you're trying to, you know, wrap around a pole or something to use as a guide to then pull it around to the back of the house, it can get pretty annoying. It's not like the Titans or, you know, the other hose reels where you can loosen it up a little bit and it'll, you know, nicely spool behind you. There's not a lot of resistance. This feels like you're pulling a freaking car behind you sometimes. So and then, you know, after you're done doing the work, or, you know, the last stop of the day, then you got to sit here and reel this up and deal with the same resistance. Even though it's maxed out loosely, I've used different lubricants to try and get some kind of you know, slippery surface where that shaft sits in there, to try and make some sort of a difference, which it helped a tiny bit, but it really didn't do a whole lot. As far as the barrel goes on this hose reel, it's similar to this material. It's not plastic or PVC like the Titans are. So yeah, that's kind of the breakdown on it. And I'm going to go ahead and get this one snatched off, get the the King's reel thrown on, get the hose transferred over, and then we'll kind of do a side-by-side visual comparison and go from there. Where's my angle at? Okay, there. As always, nothing ever goes according to plan. So with that being said, the Titan reel is 2 inches narrower than the King's reel. So this length here is just about 14 inches. This is the stacking kit. This is 16 inches wide, as you can see there. So the same thing with the base of the hose reel. That is 16 inches in length. So that means that you cannot put the stacking reel or the stacking kit from the King's reel on top of an existing Titan reel, because it just won't work. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the King's reel here, since it's wider, and bolt that down to the frame, and then we'll put this one on top of the stacking kit on top of this, because since this is narrower and this is wider, then you can just drill 2 new holes and make it so it works. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you decide to purchase this reel to maybe put in coordination with Titan reels. You're gonna have to do some modification. All right, so something to take note of on this hose reel, it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but you have these 4 bolt holes here, and then there's 4 more that are right back here. The old holes that I had drilled for the Titan reel will fit in these front 2, and then same thing in the back there, and same thing on this side, because it has these extra holes already pre-drilled. So I think that might be the reason why there's a lot more holes on the bottom of this, is so if you already have those bolt holes drilled for a Titan reel, it's going to allow you to just kind of plug and play. So I think it's really just the stacking kit that's different in this situation. So it's not a big deal. This is just going to be on the bottom when I originally planned for it to be up top. Now that we got everything installed on the trailer, it really looks good. I like having all of the stainless steel and aluminum hose reels on here. Everything looks uniform, and I know that these are reels I'm not going to have any problems with for at least a couple years. You know, there's not really a whole lot of parts that are going to break down on them like the Summit reels that I have sitting over there. Those are steel reels, and 6 months in, the brake system, you know, killed itself pretty much. So they just backlash and free spool whenever we were out in the field. So I'm so happy to finally get these all finished and put on, so now we don't have to deal with that anymore. You know, I think if you're really looking for a stainless steel and aluminum, you know, reel, but you can't find the Titans, I definitely think that this is a quality reel. Just, you know, firsthand looking at it right now, it's pretty much identical. So I'm gonna kind of take the phone and do some videos around and talk a little bit and kind of point out the similarities and any differences that I see. So here we go. So one of the main differences I saw is if you look at these collars back here on the Titan reels, you can notice, or you see how they're a little... All right, guys, so one of the first differences that I saw is this little collar right here, this black piece. On the Titan reel, it's a little bit skinnier, and over here on the King reel, it's a lot thicker. Now, the manifolds are the same size as far as 1/2 inch all the way through, but I wonder if that's just a sturdier bracing point, so if there's any kind of stress from pulling, or if the hose constricts and expands on the reel, if that kind of helps with that, I really don't know. The braking system on these Titans looks like that. And over here on the King reel, it looks the same. Now, if you're not familiar with what this is, basically you can loosen it and it'll allow less friction on that bushing to, you know, allow the hose to come off easier, or you can tighten it down. It'll add more friction and it'll slow how much, you know, hose comes off and how quickly. So think of it kind of like a fishing pole, you know, like a bird caster. You know, this bushing here acts as your thumb. So there's a lot of similarities between them. You know, this one up here is a Titan reel, and this is the oldest one I have. So I mean, you can kind of see they really do look pretty much the same. Some of the cutouts are a little bit different down here. This might even be a mount for a 12-volt motor. So I'm going to assume that's what that is. Yeah, because there's one back there as well. So that's kind of cool if that's what that is. You know, they already have it prepped, so you can, you know, switch it over. And that might be why this collar here is a little bit thicker. So, you know, it's more of a plug and play to make it an electric reel. As far as any other differences, like I said, really the only other thing is you can see how much wider these two reels are. So if I turn the video like that, you can just visibly see how that one goes further back, and the Titan reel up there really doesn't. So other than that, you know, there's really not anything else. Like I said, I think it's quality. I was really happy when I opened the box to find out that it already came with the stacking kit, and it came with the higher quality swivel. So that's not something that I would have expected at all. I thought I was going to have to use the old Summit one that I had on there. The handles look to be pretty similar. This one actually looks a little bit beefier. If you notice, this looks like it's kind of pressed on to that shaft there, versus this is just, you know, welded on top and bottom to this piece here. So that looks like it's a little bit beefier, and the metal here is a lot thicker than it is up on this piece here on the Titan reel. Let's see if there's anything else that I noticed. No, and then you've got your model number, serial number down there. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So if you guys have any questions about anything regarding these two reels at all, you know, feel free to post a comment down below. And I will update this in, you know, about a month or two once I've had it out in the field, you know, really put some time behind it to see, you know, how it holds up, if it still feels smooth, if it, you know, still the braking system works and all that kind of stuff. You know, and if I would still consider buying another one of them. So I'll keep you guys updated, but for now, that's going to be it. And I appreciate you guys watching.